How is everybody doing today? So, I told you guys I was going to do a video on slot volatility. What is it? Why it matters? And how it's the most important thing in the casino that you can, figure out. So, right now we're on the Allure of the Seas. We are in the non-smoking or casino, or the Golden Room, which is what I call it because that's what it's called on the Wonder. And it was the first ship they had to have a room like this. So, volatility. What is it? So, often when you walk to a casino, you just pick out a machine and you assume they're all the same. Well, that is incredibly the most untrue statement out there. When you play a game, they're programmed differently on how the game is going to pay the player back. So, you have the payback percentage, which is important, but not really. The volatility is more important because, for example, either you have low volatility all the way up to high volatile and everything in between. So on low volatility games, you will have games that have lower pay lines like this. So you see this here, its top line, the 3 double diamonds, is only 800 credits. That's it. On high volatility games, you got stuff like that shows 10 grand at the top. So a lot of that payback percentage is going to be put into the big numbers. On lower volatility games, the payback percentage, because it's a lot smaller, is going to be these numbers here, which are smaller, which means that these numbers are going to hit, that number will hit way more often than that number up there. So on low volatile games, you can't win as much as you can on a high volatile game such as that one. However, though, this number here is going to trigger a lot more than that number will. So low volatile, the wins can't be as big, but you're going to win way more often, which allows you to play longer. Also, the line hits here, they're going to generally pay your bet back on the really low volatile games. So we're looking at a double top dollar, the newer version of it. This is not the best version of top dollar, but top dollar is one of the best games to play. On a cruise ship, it's really hard to find low volatile games because they're not popular. You don't see everybody on the YouTubes out there showing off the top dollar and the pinball and games like that. Instead, they want to see Buffalo and all the high volatile stuff because that's what gets views. And that's where the big jackpots come from. People want to see you win a whole bunch of money. They don't want to watch you win $800 and call that a big win. That's not going to get anyone views. So, the way you can easily tell if a machine is high in volatility or what the volatility is, you can try to Google it. There's a pretty good database on a couple of websites that will tell you what they are, like every machine. However, if you can't find it, the easiest thing to do is look at the game rules. So we're looking at this double top dollar. There's your game rules right there, and that's it. The more simple the game looks, and this looks pretty simple. Let's take a look at this machine. Look how simple that thing is. It looks very basic, pretty easy to understand. If you've never played a slot machine before, you can look at that pay table and completely understand what it is. And you can also see on the 10th credit, you get to play top dollar if you get that on the 3rd line. Generally, that's a low volatile game. High volatile, you're going to look at the pay table, and you're going to see this is a higher volatile one. You're going to see this massive, insane thing of numerous line hits, and there's more. I can't change it right now to show you because the machine shut off because we're in port, but I could click game rules over here, and it would show a whole nother screen of more pay lines. The more complicated and the more complex that the pay table is, means it's going to be higher volatile. The more bonuses it has, because if you don't get the bonus, it's a blocker. It blocks your line from doing anything, from getting a payout. So the more complex it is, the more high volatile it is. Also, keep in mind, if you're playing a game like this one, or pinball is one of the greatest games you can play in the casino, you want to make sure you're playing that 10th credit bonus so you're eligible for the top dollar, because the machine's payback percentage and volatility is based on maximizing the full game. So you can't sit here and just play 9 credits because you're not going to be eligible for this. Therefore, this whole thing doesn't matter. The only thing you're going to be eligible for is this stuff. And while this hits fairly often, it's still not often enough where you're going to make up for it. You make your money in this game on the bonus. And the bonus happens fairly often. But if you're not playing that 10th credit, you're not going to be eligible for it. So it won't even matter. Same with pinball. So you got to make sure you read the game rules. The game rules will tell you everything about the game you need to know. Like absolutely everything. Now we're going to look at a high volatile game, which is the coin trio over here. So the way this one works is you're going to fill these piggies up, they're going to explode, and you're going to get a bonus. Now, people will also come over here and they'll pick out the game that has the piggy that is the biggest because they think that that pig's about to bust. That is incredibly the most untrue statement out there. If you look at the game rules, which I can't show you again because they're shut off, it will literally tell you in the game rules that these pigs getting big or anything with a pot or firecrackers or whatever, anything like that, it's a visual. It means absolutely nothing. So it's completely random. You can sit here and pop it 8 times in a row, being the smallest it is, if you're just get the random number generator is on your side and you're just happen to getting it lucky that day for that session. Or you can sit for 3 hours and never pop one. So it's completely random. So, I mean, if you want to pick out the biggest one, go for it because you just want to, but it's just random as it can be. So back to the volatility though. Games I would recommend playing on a cruise ship is a lot harder because they have the high volatile stuff. If you can find Top Dollar, Pinball, those are absolutely excellent games to play. Generally, and this is just a rule of thumb, it's not always true, anything that is made by IGT or Ainsworth is what you're going to want to go with. They generally are known to have lower volatile games. Now, they do have some high ones. Like this is an IGT that's really high in volatility. Look at that major jackpot up there. Look at that complex pay table. But generally, though, IGT and Ainsworth are what they still make low volatile games. High volatile game companies generally are Aristocrat, Light and Wonder, or SGI. They're the same company. They're now Light and Wonder, but you'll find some machines that say SGI still for like their old logo before they changed it. AGS is also one that's going to be pretty high volatility. I actually can't stand them. There's only like one game of theirs that's somewhat moderate to play. So, and then Buffalo, of course, is Aristocrat. This is one of the most popular games in the casino you can play. I would highly suggest not playing any of these unless it's the original Buffalo. But the original Buffalo is actually really good. But high volatility games are great, but you guys got to make sure you have a big payroll because they will suck your money up. The low volatile games, your money's going to last you a lot longer. So if you put $100 in, I could play, I actually have done this on the selling. I put $100 in Top Dollar 2 or 3 times, and I've sat there for 3 or 4 hours and just accumulated points. And when I left, I was basically neutral. You put $100 in one of these things here, it can go down super quick. And that's how the volatility works. You have a much bigger reward for a higher risk of your money going away quicker. So that's basically the volatility of the game. So we're going to walk around here. I'll tell you if they're high volatile or what you should and shouldn't play. So Stinkin' Rich actually is middle-ish. This is a newer version. Wolf Run, if you can find the original Wolf Run, it's one of the best games you can play. This Wolf Run version, I would stay away from it. It's not nice at all. Over here, we have all the board games, the Konamis. Konami games, they're not bad. They're fun to play, but they are more on the volatile side. All Aboard, if you get in the bonus, All Aboard's great, but it is a higher volatile game. This is a good old Light and Wonder game. It has the branding right there. I would avoid these. I personally don't like them. Again, if you have a massive bankroll, go for it. Because you just have to have a big bankroll or else you're going to be out of money really quick if you're playing high volatile. There's nothing wrong with them. You can play whatever you want to play. However, though, that is the trade-off when it comes to volatile games. The Toro Toro, Cash, or whatever. Yeah, it's another Aristocrat game. It's basically Buffalo, but slightly different. It's very volatile. It can win very big, but your money can also go really quick. The good old high-E game, again, very volatile, but it's fun to play. It has a great music game, but plays a great little jingle when you're in the bonus, and the bonus can pay really well, but it can suck your money really fast. So, yeah. But the most important things are, look at that pay table. Read the rules. No one reads the rules. People just assume that machines are all the same. That is the most untrue statement out there. Reading the rules can save you. And no matter what game you're playing, make sure that you're playing everything. You're playing the bet, like this one. You have to be paying 125 credits to be eligible for all this stuff. So you need to make sure whatever game you're playing, you're fully eligible to play the game fully. Don't sit here and play 50 credits on here because you're not eligible if you happen to get that and you're playing 50 credits. You're not winning it. You gotta be playing the 125. So at least read the game rules and understand what you're playing. Just don't sit down and mash a button. I mean, it could work, and I'm sure it has worked, but you'll do a lot better. I used to just do what I was just saying, just smash the button and sit down, and the casinos tore me up. Past few months, I've been watching a lot of videos on volatility. A lot of them are from the Cowboy Slots channel. They're really good, and they can break this down way better than I can. But the problem with them is they're not on cruise ships, though, and it's really hard to find low volatile games on cruise ships, though, so that's the difference. But they're really good, though. So go check out their volatile videos, and you'll understand what I'm saying. But yeah, this is a game I'd recommend on this boat. It's going to be a hard one to find, but yeah. So make sure you're just playing your bet to make sure you're eligible. Playing top dollar, make sure you play that 10 credit. Make sure you have the bankroll for high volatility games. If you don't have the bankroll, your money's going to go quick generally, unless you're one of the really lucky ones to win the big jackpot, which it does happen. So, yeah, I'm going to go to the other casino. The music's playing there, so it's a little bit louder. But I want to show y'all what high volatile games I would recommend and why. So I'll see y'all over there. All right, guys, we're in the main casino. If you're want to play a high volatile game, this is one game I would recommend is Dancing Drums. The original Dancing Drums. Not Prosperity, not Explosion, regular Dancing Drums. And the reason is that this game is known to hit the grand jackpot on low bets fairly often. And I mean, fairly often, I'm not going to say like it happens once a week, you don't know. But generally, though, people that you see hit the grand on Dancing Drums, they're playing 88 cents or $1.76 or something when they hit it. So if you play more on this game, you trigger the bonus more. And when you're in the bonus, it's going to put little coins up on the screen. Don't sit here and think real hard what coin to pick. It's predetermined. Whatever the machine is going to pay you the second you get into the bonus, it already knows. Just click it as fast as you can, because if someone else gets in the bonus and your bonus says the mini, is that what you're going to end up getting? And they do it quicker, they're going to get the higher mini, because after the mini gets picked once, it resets all the machines back to $10. So if you're playing on one cent, it's $10. So, but yeah, so this is a good one to play. Another one is these right here. I personally do like these. When I want to play a higher volatile game, these are the ones I play. Dragon Sphere, Ocean Magic. And the reason is because they can do really well with the wilds, but you gotta make sure you are playing one of these bottom ones, because that's how you get the extra wilds. If you're playing these top ones, you're just wasting your money. You gotta play on the bottom row so you can enable the wild bubbles or the dragon. And generally, also keeping this in mind too, I wanted to throw this in there. Game to tell if it's high volatility, if the word dragon is in it. That is a really good way to tell. The word dragon, typically you want to stay away from it unless you have a massive bankroll, because dragons are all over the casino and people just love to play them, and they eat your money really quick. So you can also win big, so you just got to make sure you have a bankroll for volatility. But yeah, those are two that I would highly recommend playing if you want to play a high volatile game. These here are not as volatile as Dancing Drums is. Dancing Drums is going to be more volatile than these. These are probably more mid to high right here, these three. But Dancing Drums is very high. So yeah, that's what I would recommend when it comes to that. And also, you're still gambling, so even if you follow my rules or any other rules that you read on YouTube, it's still gambling. It's still random. You could pick out the worst machine that anybody ever says to never play, and you could hit $1,000 on it. You could play the best machine all day long and not do anything. I had a friend on here put $400 on that top dollar, and he did absolutely nothing. It happens. But generally, top dollar is going to be a solid one you want to play. So, but yeah, Quick Hits is another decent one. Quick Hits is good, but you got to make sure you're playing max bet. The good thing with Quick Hits is the max bet's only $1.50. So, because you're eligible for all this at max bet. It'll literally tell you with max bet on the bottom. A lot of people miss that. So, Quick Hits is a decent one to play too. So, it's a little bit more up there, but it's not bad though. If you're going to play a high volatile game, that's a good one. Stuff like this, I personally actually do enjoy playing this game. However, though, it is very volatile and it will take your money very fast. I just like playing because I've actually had luck on it. It's one of the few games that are volatile that I have luck with. And then I will show y'all probably the worst games in the casino to play. And you should never play these unless you have a giant bankroll. If you have a big bankroll, go for it, because they can really pay. But these right over here, I would highly suggest always avoiding. Again, unless you have a big bankroll. You're going to see where I'm going, right here. Huff and More Puff, these drums things. And on the other side as well, the 88 Fortunes money coins, any Locket Links, Eurekas, all this stuff, Cash Crop. And then if we're going to go over to the Dragon Link game over here, this Dragon Links, avoid these unless you have a giant bankroll. These will suck your money dry. They can pay very well. They absolutely can. However, though, unless you have a big bankroll, though, and your goal is to entertain yourself, it's really bad if you come into a casino with like $300. You sit down at one of these, and 20 minutes later, you're out of money. That happens because you don't win big on them. So I would highly suggest like not playing those. If you have a big bankroll, you got a big bankroll, or you're incredibly lucky. I mean, it happens. People do win a lot on these. You go on YouTube, you'll find tons of $100,000 wins on games like this. However, those people do have big bankrolls, and every single one of them, especially the YouTube slot people, will tell you that they lose money every single year in the casino. So, especially, I've talked to some of them, they will lose money every time, generally. So, even with big jackpots. But, yeah, Lightning Link, avoid that one as well. I would not mess with Lightning Link. Same as Dragon Link. Very volatile. It's a fun game. I actually do play it some. And I don't win. But yeah, unless you got a big bankroll, these will eat you alive. But, and here's Buffalo. This Buffalo Gold. I was just regular Buffalo. Not Deluxe, not Ascension or Chief. Regular Buffalo is an excellent game. Buffalo Gold isn't the worst. But anything after Gold, I would not play any of those. And then Wheel of Fortune, avoid these. I know this says IGT on it, but I would avoid them just for the reason of they have to pay a licensing fee to use a Wheel of Fortune name and branding. So the payback percentage and volatility are not great. So I would avoid those. They can pay very well though. They absolutely can. I've seen it happen a lot too. But you're not one you gotta make sure you're betting the max credits so you're eligible for all the bonuses. But anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer the best I can. If you want more info on this, leave it in the comments. I'll try the best I can. Or go watch a Cowboy Slots channel. I get a lot of information from them and just me experimenting with their methods. Their methods do work. Listen to what they say. It's helped me a lot too. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one.